Welcome to the Kiwi Mana Day.
Hello everyone and Happy New Year. Welcome to the Beeekepers Q&A for 2016. If you can hear me, send a message in the chat room. That'd be great. Anyway, my name is Gary and this is Margaret. And we're here to answer questions. We have got some questions that people have emailed us in this week, so we can make a start with those. But Happy New Year, everybody. And we will be recording a full podcast this week. All going well?
All going well, we will.
We will, we promise.
So welcome to the new year. And yeah, beekeeping alive and well all over the world. We've had a few emails from around the globe. Lots of honey. Talk to some local beekeepers.
Yep, and we've had lots of customers visiting us. It's been fantastic.
Indeed. So it's all good, and we hope it's all good with you guys, and that you know, thanks for taking time to come out and meet with us on this second Q&A.
Second Q&A, and it's pouring down outside in Auckland at the moment, so we won't be doing a lot of beekeeping today.
No, indeed.
So it's all going well for us.
Not for the girls, though. They're stuck inside, so they'll be eating all the nectar and honey that they've been collecting.
Yeah, we had a period a couple of days ago where it was 3 complete days and it was just raining the whole time, so they weren't too happy, were they? Mm. But it gave us a good chance to catch up on TV.
Sleeping.
Yeah, and doing some computer work. Launching new products and stuff like that. So we've been working on the ventilated beekeeping jackets. So that's what we've been doing. So let's get started with some questions. First question we had was, how does oxalic acid kill mites?
That's a great question, Gary.
It is. It was
What's
asked
the
for.
Latest news on the oxalic acid? Did we get some information about recent research?
There was a recent from Emily's blog in London. She's released a scientific study from LSIA, and they're actually saying that they're recommending that people don't dribble oxalic acid anymore, and the only way they recommend to do it is to use a vaporizer, which is what we do here in New Zealand, don't we? Because we found that when we used the dribbling, it did actually slow down their brood production in spring, but this is kind of what the scientific study's proven as well. So that's interesting to read, eh? We'll add that to the we'll do a blog post about this, and you can have a look at it. I'll put that in the comments anyway. There's a study there.
Okay, that's great. Now, when you do oxalic acid, what is the method that you use, Gary?
I use a vaporization, which is we're using the vaporizer, and we use oxalic acid crystals, which vaporizes into our smoke and spreads around the hive, and that way it
would that be a vapor?
Yeah, like a vapor. As in a vaporization. And,
okay, so how does it actually?
Apparently, I've read some studies. I think it was a Randy Oliver article, and he says it actually damages the breathing apparatus of the mites, and they can't breathe and they die quite quickly. So it doesn't affect the bees, it only affects the mites. So that's how that works there. I think the difference between the vaporization and the you dribbling the sugar syrup, because what they do is they mix oxalic acid with sugar syrup. This is when they're doing the dribbling method. The bees have to actually ingest the actual oxalic acid, and apparently that can affect them somehow. So whereas a vaporization, it's just a smoke around the hive which they don't ingest.
And is there, I heard that there was oxalic acid is actually in the honey. Is that true?
Yeah, oxalic acid is a natural part of honey. And, that works really well. That's really good for doing. Yeah, it's actually naturally part of honey. So,
okay.
So, so it doesn't really affect them. So some people say you shouldn't do it when there's honey soup is on. But I've never had a problem with it, and some people say you don't. But if you're a commercial guy, you might want to be check that up in case they do studies with it. But there was a study done. I think I read it in a Randy Oliver article again, and he said that the oxalic acid was less in the ones that were used that had the vaporizer. So don't quote me who said that, but which surprised me, Well, you think that would be actually more if you're using a vaporization. So I don't understand how that worked.
Probably because vaporization is more about the vapor being spread around the hive. So it's sort of the mites will be walking on the bees, and the bees will be walking through the vapor, and the movement and the buzz of the hive will spread the vapor around and will make it, move more. Whereas with a dribble method, I guess once they ingest it, it could be an accumulative effect, I guess.
Yeah.
So read that research, guys, and so that's one of the treatments we use. And what was the next question?
How thick is medium brood bee comb foundation? And we've actually got one over there, haven't we? Q&A show and tell live. We actually went in there this morning and measured it. This is what they're talking about. If you're not a beekeeper, this is a beehive frame, and this thing here is called the foundation, which is a wax sheet, and the bees make their comb on the sheet, and make their honeycomb, and they make their brood on there, and it smells beautiful. Honeycomb. Anyway, and we measured it today because we use a medium brood bee comb, which is good for all round purposes. Some commercial guys that collect Manuka honey, they use a heavy Manuka, a heavy frame. It's like a thicker foundation. But answer to this question, it's 2 mil thick. So
what's the? We use that as a standard hobbyist product. We provide the foundation, the wax foundation for the worker brood side of things. And what are the pros and cons with different sizing?
Well, they use the thinner one for when they're doing comb honey. If you've ever seen comb honey in a plastic container, they use a thin one for that. So because it's easy to eat. The thicker one is for Manuka because it's so hard to get off the cell. So I guess it's just they put it there because that way they can extract them a lot more heavily or more, faster probably. So we use a medium one, which is a good all round one anyway. And thanks for joining Social NDT. Hope you're going well.
G'day.
Are you a beekeeper? Please comment. And that's the dog barking.
Come here.
This is the beauty of live Q&As.
That's it. Absolutely.
If anyone's got a question, go /Q and type your question into the chat. And the next question we had, how to get rid of German wasps. Well, German wasps are what they call in America yellow jackets. And here they call them German wasps. And we believe it's because they arrived in the 1940s from a shipment of military equipment from Germany. That's why they've been called German wasps, which is probably unfair. They should really be called the European wasps because they do have them in other countries. I've seen them in England. And how to get rid of them? There's a new product that's just been released in New Zealand called Vespex, and Doc have done some trials last year in the Nelson Lakes area, which is the top of the South Island, and it's had really good success. And I'll read you what it says here. It says to help control wasp population, Nelson-based company Macento have developed a wasp base in conjunction with DOC, which is the Department of Conservation. Vespex was piloted on 5 public conservation lands sites in 2015 and reduced the wasp activity by more than 95%. So it sounds really good, and apparently it isn't attractive to bees, which is great news for beekeepers around the world.
I wonder how much time they spent analysing the bee side of things. I mean, the reality is that it is the best way to get rid of wasps is to find their nests.
Yeah, that is the best way, and you can track them. There's a lot of ways to track them, and
I think it's very time consuming, but wasp nests are usually pretty close. If you've got wasps around your apiary or around your colonies, then they are nesting very nearby. And so I think that trying to get those nests and using, some sort of way to get rid of them would be the best thing. Some people sit out in the apiary, don't they, with their vacuum cleaner and
yes, they do. Some crazy beekeepers sit in the apiary
some of them
with a vacuum cleaner.
The risk of electrocution. But now they've got big battery-operated vacuum cleaners where you just vacuum up the bees that turn up, and they usually turn up in the evening or early in the morning. So it's as the bees start to settle down and they go into the hive, the wasps know that's the perfect time to come and harass them. And you can lose a colony pretty quickly. And we've also designed other products to deal with robbing and wasps.
Yeah.
So, there's lots of different methods. I find having an attractant around, like using a food source or anything, is just really encouraging the wasps to stay around your apiary.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about that. If you're using traps, you should probably keep them away from your apiary, because you're absolutely right. They probably will attract more wasps to the area. And other methods we use are robbing screens, which is like a screen that fits in front of the hive. So wasps can't get into it, and the bees can work out how to get out. That's working really well, isn't it?
Yeah, the method with the robbing screens is that it's just a sort of a fenced area in front of the hive, and you put it on the front, and the girls will go out there and they will propolis all around the landing board, the robbing screen, and so that means that it's centered with the smell of the hive. And so therefore, if anything that's not part of the hive comes into that fenced area, they will attack it. And so that works really well. And it also, I don't know, but I think that when you've got robbing bees, it can be a great help with that, because the robbing bees will not smell like the colony. So they will get a short, sharp kick out of there. And, we find them very, very effective. It's a learned behavior. So the bees, you don't put it on one day and expect the bees to understand what it is. You have to give them a few weeks for them to start to propolis it and make it smell like the colony. So, excuse me, the ones that we've created, you can use them with a wide entrance when you've got the nectar flow or you've got this build up for spring. And then the narrow one is for times when robbing can be quite high and when the wasps are around. So there are two methods that you can use. So wasps are a real threat, and we have lost colonies through the threat of the wasp. So and observation is best done in the evening or early in the morning to see what the presence of wasps is, because some people say to me, oh, there's no wasps around, but I've sat there and I've had a look and I've seen them. And then they realize, oh gosh, there is wasps around. So, and they're just getting into the hive. So the whole robbing screen is like another barrier for them. And the best way to get rid of them is to find their nests and destroy their nests. The older method was to find the nest and pour petrol into the hole where the nest is, because they're usually in the ground or in a retaining wall or in a crevice somewhere. Well, that sounds rude, but anyway, in a crevice somewhere, and that's the best way to get rid of them. You don't light the petrol, you just put it in, and the fumes kill the colony, and you just block the entrance. So
Probably not the most environmental safe thing to do, but
No, but
yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's as I said, one of the methods that's been used for a long time.
Because I know in New Zealand, I heard that they used to use a thing called carbaryl, which is a powder-based pesticide, and that seems to have been taken off the market.
Yeah, we used to trap the wasps that were around the apiary, and we had a jar of carbaryl, and we would put the wasps into the carbaryl, shake the carbaryl onto their bodies, and then let them go, and they would go back to the colony, and that was thought to help destroy the colony. I don't know how effective that was.
Yeah, no, I think it worked quite well.
One of the other ways that we've actually something that we just came across, and we had a tarpaulin which was just screwed up you know, by the garage, and it was just all crunched up. And what we found is that the wasps, the queen wasps, would go into the tarpaulin and hibernate in it. So when it came round to just before spring, I opened up the tarpaulin because we were using it for something else, and I found 30 queens inside this tarpaulin. So that's a very passive way to stop colonies from, I mean, that would have been 30 colonies that could have been set up around our area. And so it was so easy. You just open up the tarp and just squash all the queens. So, you know, you could leave something lying around the apiary to attract them and then deal with them before spring.
Yeah, and I've heard the other thing people do is they hang an old sack over the fence and the queens will burrow into the top. That's what a lot of farmers used to do. So that's another good method.
Yeah, so any more questions, guys?
Is there any more questions? Otherwise, we're going to wrap this up and go and have breakfast.
That's it.
So if you've got any questions, please comment in the comments section over there.
So who else is having a look today?
We've had Erica before and Social NDP. But I'll just put a link in the comments there. This is a video from Doc about that wasp control method.
Cool.
So you can check that out. It's actually got an instructional video of how to do it, which is quite interesting. And before you can buy that product, you've got to do a training course online, which is probably a good idea, eh?
That's interesting because they are actually, the New Zealand government are trying to set criteria for people using chemicals and all sorts of things like that. So this must be one of the new requirements, that if you have a product like this, you have to have a certain standard of education with it, like applying any kind of chemical around your property, that you have to be registered as a user of that product. And it seems like a lot of bureaucracy, but you know, if it helps the environment and people do things properly, then I think it's a good thing. Absolutely. And speaking of bureaucracy, the EPA have just announced 2 days ago that they've discovered neonicotinoids, or ibupropion. Ibupropion is actually harmful to bees. Finally. I don't know if it's called ibupropion. I think it's called imiprotein or something. You'd have to look that up. Anyway, it's one of the neonicotinoids. You need to check that because that is not the name of the product. So is it imidacloprid? Something like that. Anyway, guys, yeah, check that out. We'll add that to the show notes anyway. Are you talking about the New Zealand EPA? No, I'm talking about the American EPA. The American Environment Protection Agency. Yes. Which is an interesting label for it. Yeah, well, it sounds like they're actually onto it at the moment, so that's good. That's awesome. So all the work that people overseas have been doing, like Hank Tenicus and Tom Fairball, it's been awesome. Starting to be acknowledged that there is a risk, and the long-term effects of this stuff is never been really part of the research that's been presented to the public or to government agencies. So the long-term effects of all these chemicals, herbicides, fungicides, and pesticides have been underplayed, but we know that with the extensive use, because people just aren't willing to work harder and getting rid of weeds, because that's what this is all. You just don't want in your garden. So dig it out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And another Kiwi Mana news, we've got 5,000 followers on Twitter now.
Woohoo! Everything is awesome.
Banana!
It's great. And yeah, we work hard to give content and good content. And we've got a free newsletter. So if you're interested in that, you could sign up.
Yep. kiwimana.co.nz/sign up.
Yeah, join the Kiwi Mana buzz.
Absolutely. And today, in about an hour, I'm going to be interviewed for a podcast
Cool.
out of Indiana. So we'll have to put that in the show notes too. You can check the new podcast out, which is great. We like to have lots of beekeeping podcasts around the world, don't we, Dale? It's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah, we're number one in New Zealand, so we're pretty proud of that, and we work hard for that. So, yeah, have a listen, guys, because it's got lots of information there about beekeeping all around the world and environmental stuff, which is relevant to beekeepers. And, yeah, we try to get local content in there as well, but Kiwis are quite shy, really.
Quite shy.
Yes.
Don't like coming on the internet. But that's all good. Anyway, we're going to sign off now, guys. If there's any more questions, quickly
Someone
join
else
in.
come on in.
Douglas has just joined. So
Hi, Douglas.
hi, Douglas.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
If you want to join the show, just click on Open Seat. Oh, hi. Yeah, hi to you too.
Hi.
I think you can click Join and you can join in if you like. And you'll need to put your headphones on.
And are there any questions, Doug, while we're here? And, yeah, happy to answer something.
Yeah, or you can answer them in the chat room and we'll try and answer them as well.
Yeah, or type a question.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where's your headphones? And Margaret will put her headphones on soon. And it's today we get interviewed, and then later on this afternoon we are hoping... Okay, thanks. No worries, Doug. And later on this afternoon, we're happy to check some beehives. It's been raining for the last day and a half. So we've got a queen has got a beehive has got a queen. So because last week they had a laying worker. And we're also going to check on some splits too, which weeks ago now, eh?
Yeah, so we're hopeful that they're ready. We've got someone waiting for that. The other colonies we've got have our beginner kits. They've all sold and moved to their new home, so that's awesome.
Yep.
And in the apiary itself, it's amazing this season that we've got some queens that are really are doing so well, and we split them, like taken extra frames off, and we've had about 4 colonies from one queen, and that's just doing it naturally without any, manipulation as such. And she's still got a huge colony in there, and they've just collected so much honey. So I'll be getting some help with that to take that off, because it's 4 full depth boxes high now.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
But yeah, I was talking to a beekeeper from Wakatani yesterday, and he was saying that he had some sluggish hives, and he bought some product called Hive Alive or something.
Oh,
and
okay.
He said it really gave those real sluggish hives a real boost, and they are just really pumping now. So that's an interesting product. We'll probably have to do a bit of research on that and maybe give it a go and see what happens.
Is that like a pollen substitute or something? Or you don't,
I don't know anything about it. I just heard about it.
Oh, okay. Hive Alive. We'll have to check that out.
Yeah, and apparently they reckon it helps with nosema, which has been a problem in the Coromandel. And, yeah, so we'll do some more looking into that.
Yep, absolutely. And just a message here to Doug. Can you hear us okay? I just want to make sure that we can our mic's coming through. Hopefully it will. We just say yes or no. Anyway, guys, we're going to sign off now because we've got to get ready for the interview and have some breakfast. If there's no more questions, we'll be going, and we'll probably try and do another one next week if you want to come along.
Yeah, so if there's something that you want to ask, now is the moment. We'll hold on.
Yep. Oh, no, Doug says it's okay.
That's
good.
Cool. Oh, well, thanks, Doug, for coming. And whereabouts are you from, Doug?
New NC, is it North Carolina? Yeah, we're not very good at America, Doug. We're from New Zealand. NC. Oh, it is. It's North Carolina. That's awesome.
Thanks for coming along. That's great. You know, we find that some of the Kiwi beekeepers don't come, but it's great to get someone from over in the US of A. And we hope that everything's good over that side at this time of the year. There's a lot of weather situations. We've had lots of issues in Australia, and our thoughts go out to them. But,
yeah, it was terrible yesterday. A whole town got destroyed by fire.
Yeah, and they've had heavy flooding and all sorts of things going on over there. And we've had like about 4 days of rain now, and the bees are not happy being stuck inside. But hopefully today, even though we've had some rain this morning, they hope that it will clear up this afternoon.
Absolutely. And welcome to Bee Friendly, who's just joined us from England. So welcome.
G'day.
G'day from New Zealand.
G'day from down under. Oh, no, that's my Australian.
That's Australian accent.
Not that we have an accent.
Absolutely not.
So any questions from England?
Because she's called Buckfast Bees. That's around where Phil Chandler lives, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
Yes. We must talk. We're going to talk about Phil on the next podcast. He's just released a new book, which looks good. So
yeah, he's awesome, and you know, I've learnt some really good handy tips from Phil Chandler to do with how to hold top bar hive frames the right way so it doesn't collapse. And it's he's got some really helpful stuff there, and he's got some great ideas on using top bars and how he manages his top bars, and they're all on YouTube. So if you're into top bars or natural comb building, then
check out Phil Chandler.
Phil.
I think he's biobees.com.
Awesome.
Do you have top bars there, Buckfast Bees? Or do you use traditional Langstroths? Because we've at the moment we've got one top bar, one bench hive, and all the rest are Langstroths, aren't they?
Yeah, and we're trying to, in the bench hive, the guy who made it has made some frames which are foundationless. So I've popped a couple of them inside this bench hive to see how they will draw that out. So I've got a foundation frame, then I've got a foundationless frame, and then another foundation frame. So be interesting to see how that one goes, and I'll probably blog about it at some stage.
Yeah, that would be good. And we did a video that day, didn't we, of you moving bees into the bench hive.
It's a new product that we're looking at selling, and it's just going to make things so much easier for people with back issues or people who want to manage their hives in one place without having to get so much extra gear. So it should be an all year round beehive. So, and it's got a window in it. It's awesome. And
you can look at the world of the bees.
You can show off your bees to your friends without them worrying about getting stung. So it's a really cool product. So we're excited about that. That's our new project. Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can hear the rain coming down again. When will it stop raining?
Yeah, but without rain, we'd be thirsty, wouldn't we?
We would be. We would be indeed.
So Buckfast Bees, any questions? Do you have any questions?
I think they've left. They've left the building.
Oh, that's a shame.
Anyway, guys, thanks for joining everybody that joined. Oh, thanks, Doug. You're awesome. Thanks for everyone for joining.
Doug.
And have a great day, night, / whatever time of the day it is in North Carolina. And we will go and have breakfast, and we will be...
And I'm going to have...
Bananas.
Banana!
And we will... Doug has left the building. And we will see you next week on a blab. And I'll organise that for you guys. And we will be doing a podcast this week. Won't we, Margaret?
Indeed. So have a great day, guys. Thanks for taking time to join us. And, yeah, we'll see you next time.
Yep.